Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 7, The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 21, 696 True Immortal Yukon. 21st of Volume 7. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. With Grand Minister Huntu personally intervening, how could he possibly escape? Besides, that transcendent was already ancient, his blood chi severely depleted. Mo Duanfeng showed no signs of discouragement, on the contrary, he was in high spirits. After this assassination, our reputation will undoubtedly soar again. The Taiyan sect's rigorous selection process ensures such treatment, something others can only dream of. Li Wei remained deeply puzzled, secretly pondering how the Taiyan sect had seen through his transformation technique. Unless he could unravel this mystery, his only option would be to seek refuge within the Chong clan. 30 Zhang away, Chongji emerged from the shadows of an alley near the Transcendent's carriage and reported, "Aunt, I've confirmed it. The Taiyan sect can't pinpoint Li Wei is the one using the transformation technique. 3 other assassinations occurred simultaneously. Understood. Withdraw," Chong Yukin's voice echoed softly from within the carriage. "This young man is intriguing. I'll observe him further." Chongji vanished without a trace, leaving no sign of his presence. Chong Yukin stepped down from the Transcendent's carriage, holding a whisk in one hand and her other arm behind her back. Her graceful figure radiated an ethereal aura, poised between the mortal and divine realms. She gazed serenely at Li Wei and Mo Duanfeng in the distance, as if patiently awaiting their approach. Mo Duanfeng's eyes lit up, even a man as indifferent to women as he was struck by her beauty. Who is this immortal maiden? Chong Yukin, the 8th-generation immortal cultivator of the Chong clan, a contemporary of Chong Yujian and the others, Li Wei replied. Mo Duanfeng gazed at the jade-like figure in the distance, as exquisite as a painting. No wonder her cultivation is unfathomable. Even at my level, I can barely discern her features. Wait, how did I not know the Chong clan had a woman who embodies both peerless beauty and extraordinary talent? The Chong clan is a colossal power. How could they not have their own hidden sect? In any case, I believe true immortal Yukon is even more skilled than Master Bu. Now that your injuries are stable, I'm leaving. Li Wei turned to approach Chong Yukin. The operation proceeds as planned in 2 days, Mo Duanfeng declared. Li Wei couldn't help but admire Mo Duanfeng's decisive and heroic spirit. After his trials in the Void Ruins ancient kingdom, Mo Duanfeng had shed some of his arrogance, tempered his sharp edges, and gained fivefold the indomitable fighting spirit. As Li Wei reached Chong Yukin, 3 corpses were carried over by city guards and laid neatly on the ground. One of them was reduced to fragments of flesh, bone, and blood. Chong Yukin glanced at the corpses on the ground. You were assassinated, and these 3 were also targeted. Can you discern anything from this? Hearing her question, Li Wei knew she had already seen through everything. His competitive spirit flared. The 8th-generation immortal cultivators only live a few decades longer than the 9th-generation immortal ascendants. How could I possibly lose to her? Li Wei released strands of 4-colored spiritual light, probing the 3 corpses. 2 of them are young martial mystic cultivators at the immortal ascension being level, while the third is at the first realm of the immortal realm, over 100 years old. This is utterly bizarre. Even the 2 young martial mystic cultivators at the immortal ascension being level were only at the early 3rd immortal realm. Would the Taiyan sect really expose a great immortal expert to assassinate them? The death of the immortal realm cultivator makes even less sense. I can't fathom the reason. True immortal Yukon, do you have any insights? The white whisk swayed gently in the wind. Strands of dark hair brushed against Chong Yukin's ear as she replied. The 3 of them left the East City Heavenly Pavilion within 15 minutes of Mo Duanfeng's departure. Li Wei said gravely, "True immortal, does this mean someone anticipated that Mo Duanfeng and I would leave the East City Heavenly Pavilion together? We would stagger our departures, but not by much. Even if they misjudged and only managed to kill Mo Duanfeng, it would still count as a successful pruning of the seedling." Chong Yukin nodded slightly. That's the only logical conclusion. Li Wei quickly discovered more clues. He peeled off a human skin mask from the face of one of the corpses, then examined the other intact body. It also showed signs of disguise. I understand now. Li Wei exclaimed. Chong Yukin turned to him. Li Wei said grimly, "Last night, when Meng Kui arrived, news of Mo Duanfeng and my hiding in the East City Heavenly Pavilion must have leaked out. The Taiyan sect would have immediately dispatched assassins to hide nearby, observing and recording everyone who entered and exited. Earlier, anyone who left the Heavenly Pavilion within 15 minutes before or after Mo Duanfeng's departure, and who wasn't on their list, would have been suspected of being me using the transformation technique. That's why I, along with these 3 on the ground, were all targeted for assassination." Chong Yukin asked, "Why did they assume you would leave so close to Mo Duanfeng?" Li Wei said solemnly, "They probably weren't certain. But Mo Duanfeng has a transcendent from the Holy Dynasty guarding him, while I have no such protection. I can't stay at the heavenly pavilion any longer. It's a den of vipers, far from safe. It's even possible that someone within the heavenly pavilion itself leaked information to the Taiyan sect. They're willing to kill the innocent rather than let the guilty escape. After speaking, Li Wei secretly exhaled in relief. Thank heavens the transformation technique wasn't compromised. And thanks to the transformation technique, which has divided the Taiyan sect's forces. This incident also revealed the Taiyan sect's unwavering determination to eliminate him. Li Wei glanced again at the three corpses on the ground and sighed. Among them might be someone who had been staying at the heavenly pavilion for days, unrecorded by the Taiyan sect, yet still targeted for assassination. Chang Yukin boarded the transcendent carriage, and her clear, melodious voice, like pearls falling onto a jade plate, drifted from within. Where do you want to go next? I can give you a ride. Li Wei recalled Grand Minister Huntu's intervention, which had resulted in the death of a transcendent. In this situation, even if the Taiyan sect borrowed immortal heart and emperor's courage for their disciples, they would likely have to temporarily retreat. After boarding the carriage, Li Wei brazenly said, "First, I must thank true immortal Yukin. We can go to the Fate Gambling House first. Is there truly no need to wait for Mr. G?" The three dragon-headed fire lions understood Li Wei's words and galloped toward South City. Even if a powerhouse like Mr. G were nearby, we wouldn't be able to sense him, Chang Yukin said, her eyes flickering. Are you three heading to the All-Wonders Temple? This single sentence revealed that every move Li Wei, Mo Duanfeng, and Shui Ding made was under the Chang clan's surveillance. It was hardly surprising that the Taiyan sect had already deduced their intentions. Li Wei asked, how did true immortal Yukin come to this conclusion? Isn't it common knowledge throughout the city? Chang Yukin replied coolly, you and Mo Duanfeng captured Yi Tianchen and Chu Fangshu. If not for further action, why delay their release? What benefit could you possibly gain from keeping them? Li Wei said, I had thought brother Yujian was the foremost talent of the Chang clan's younger generation, but true immortal Yukin's wisdom and composure exert tremendous pressure on me. Do you believe we stand even a slight chance of success in this venture? That depends on your objective, Chang Yukin said. Victory isn't just about winning. If your goal is to reach the peak of breakthrough, why concern yourselves with winning or losing? If you're after the blood-floating pagoda demon armor, you have absolutely no chance of success. Li Wei chuckled, because Wenren Tinghai, Shan Shenge, and the others will anticipate our arrival and prepare thoroughly, right? The Wenren and Ku clans are fiercely loyal to the demon monarch. They control 18 sets of blood-floating pagoda demon armor, a quarter of the total. Even if they've lost 3 sets, they can still form a 15-tier pagoda. How do you plan to fight that? Wenren Tinghai could crush you with one hand. Even without the demon armor, which of you three could stand against Shan Shenge in a one-on-one fight? Chang Yukin sneered, her eyes narrowing into slits. Li Wei didn't argue. Whether it was Shan Shenge or Jiyu Junxiang, he was determined to crush them one by one. Still unconvinced. Let me remind you, don't think that just because you've lost, they won't dare to harm your cultivation or your lives. At least you, Li Wei, might very well die in there, Chang Yukin warned. This time, Li Wei was genuinely puzzled. Did they really have the audacity? Wenren Moqing is indeed loyal to the demon monarch, but Wenren Tinghai has been working for the crown prince all along, and Wenren Moqing has neither stopped nor punished him. Do you think Wenren Tinghai might, accidentally, kill you during your sparring match? Chang Yukin's crimson lips curved slightly, her captivating allure eclipsing the ethereal Taoist aura that surrounded her. For the remainder of their journey, Li Wei focused on healing his injuries. Chang Yukin remained silent, closing her eyes in Taoist meditation. Fate Gambling House. Upon arriving at the myriad phenomenon Red Dust Hall and seeing the latest odds, Li Wei immediately regretted his earlier actions. Meng Qi's odds had improved from 8 to -1 to 7-01. The reason for the adjustment was noted. The emergence of the Sage's robe has increased his likelihood of claiming the top spot on the immortal ranking. Li Wei's odds had also improved to 8-01, due to his psychic power reaching the peak of the 4th realm and the unexpectedly devastating power of his 6-fold samsara burning karma technique's 5th layer. The analysis stated that Meng Qi, with his heaven and earth freedom realm and superior body technique speed, had a 50% chance of preventing Li Wei from unleashing this technique and a 90% chance of escaping Shi Yian's attack range. Mo Duanfeng's odds, on the other hand, had risen to 9-01. Ultimately, this was because both Li Wei and Mo Duanfeng were at the mid-stage of their cultivation. If they were to break through to the peak, their odds would undoubtedly increase further. 500 low-grade spiritual crystals, all on Li Wei to take first place on the immortal ranking, Li Wei declared, wagering nearly all the spiritual crystals he had left. Nearby, Chang Yukin's delicate brows furrowed, even she couldn't help but be momentarily stunned. 500 spiritual crystals. Even some great immortal cultivators might not accumulate such wealth in a century. Are you that confident? Do you really disregard a legendary figure like the Emperor Junxiang? Chang Yukin asked as they left the fate gambling house, her whisk swaying gently. What's this? A senior from your Chang clan wagered dozens of times that amount on me. If I can't defeat the likes of Shan Sheng and Jiyu Junxiang, how could I ever face him? Li Wei replied. After all, Changshu hadn't explicitly forbidden him from mentioning the matter. Besides, Chang Yukin was just a junior. She likely wouldn't dare to spread such sensitive information, knowing its gravity. Chang Yukin abruptly stopped, her gaze fixed on him. Mr. Shu. Li Wei smiled without a word. The Holy Hall's Life Realm residence is in South City. Go yourself, I won't escort you. Emerging from the heavenly fire world, Chang Yukin boarded her transcendent carriage and soared directly into the sky. Will she rush back to report me? After careful consideration, Li Wei shook his head. He couldn't believe a immortal realm martial mystic cultivator would dare offend a transcendent from her clan, especially one who held a position akin to the clan head. The Holy Hall's Life Realm residence was located in a large manor in South City, owned by the Rainforest Living Realm's Willow Division. Young immortal realm martial mystic cultivators from the Rainforest Living Realm also resided here. Currently, the Lingxiao Palace, Holy Hall's Life Realm, and Rainforest Living Realm maintained an alliance, advancing and retreating together. Jade Willow Manor. Li Wei dispelled his transformation technique, stood before the manor's gate, and gazed at the 4 large characters on the plaque. He stepped forward and announced his name. Southern Dragon. Dao Technique successor of the Grand Palace Master. The 4 guards at the manor's gate were visibly excited. One of them sprinted into the courtyard, shouting, "The strongest has arrived. Our strongest has come." Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 7. The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 22, 697, The Grand Palace Master Severely Wounded. 22nd of Volume 7. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. The battle outside Night Demon City's Immortal Grove had made it clear to all 9th-generation Immortal Ascension beings that Li Wei had broken through, officially joining the ranks of top-tier experts. Naturally, everyone assumed he had reached the 4th realm of the Immortal Realm. After the uproar at Mengqing Garden, the news spread like wildfire throughout Xiaoyao capital within a day and 2 nights. No one doubted Li Wei's strength any longer. Within Jade Willow Manor, the sound of hurried footsteps grew louder as they approached. Upon learning of Li Wei's arrival, dozens of Immortal Realm martial mystic cultivators and holy spiritual masters quickly gathered to greet him. Previously, they had been merely curious about this Dao Technique successor of the Heavenly Emperor, aware of his formidable strength. Now, their attitude had shifted to one of fervent admiration, reverence, and awe. Capturing alive the Yi clan's strongest member, a 4th Immortal Realm cultivator, and the foremost figure of the Cloud Void Living Realm, severely injuring Meng Kui with a single palm strike, and, escaping unscathed after confronting the entire Zhongsheng Academy's Immortal Ascension beings, any one of these feats would have been enough to make someone famous throughout the world. Greetings, Southern Dragon. Brother Li, we've been waiting for you for days. I regret missing the chance to witness Southern Dragon's splendor at the Void Ruins Ancient Clan's Ancestral Mountain. Shui Mo is deeply disappointed. Lord Li Wei's consecutive defeats of those petty villains scheming to join the Demon Kingdom's formation in the Xiaoyao capital have been truly satisfying. Senior Sister Su Yuyan of the 4 Sovereigns sect, we met at the Void Ruins Ancient Clan's Ancestral Mountain. Tell us about your battle with Meng Kui, that was the most legendary clash. He was the Zhongsheng Academy's foremost expert, clad in the Sage's robe, and a master of the Heaven and Earth Freedom Realm. Li Wei was surrounded by a crowd of admirers, each gaze burning with fervent admiration. Yet the crowd maintained restraint and dignity, standing several steps apart to preserve the decorum expected of Immortal Realm martial mystic cultivators. The higher one's cultivation realm, the clearer it became that Li Wei's future achievements were limitless. The other shore realm was the lifelong pursuit of these cultivators. But for the young man before them, it might merely be the lower bound of his future accomplishments. One Immortal Realm martial mystic cultivator addressed him as Lord Yi, acknowledging that Li Wei's current combat prowess already rivaled that of 5th Realm great Immortal Realm experts who had lived for centuries. In terms of status, even ordinary young transcendent cultivators couldn't claim much superiority over him. Even Su Yuyan, the true disciple of the ancient sect, now dared only refer to herself as the sect's eldest senior sister when addressing Li Wei, eager to forge a connection with him. Previously, she would never have lowered her posture to such an extent. Nangong arrived with a dozen cultivators wearing identical formation robes, stopping beneath the eaves 10 zhang away. Fellow allies, I must discuss some urgent matters with the Holy Maiden. Please excuse me. Li Wei spotted Nangong moving through the crowd and slipped away unnoticed. Nangong immediately ordered the others to resume their training in combined battle techniques and talisman formation refinement. She then departed with Li Wei to pay respects to Lord Lu Tianqian of the rainforest habitat. Concealing her peerless beauty behind a white mask, Nangong radiated a luminous mist, her skin shimmering like warm jade wreathed in smoke. Her gentle tone carried a hint of resentment. See. Everyone's been waiting for you. Why did you only arrive now? I heard you reached the Xiaoyao capital over 10 days ago. I sent someone to contact Chang Yujian, but he said you'd already left the Chong clan. Even the deputy sentinel lord was worried something had happened to you, yet no one could find you. I was wrong this time, Li Wei admitted, I should have contacted you sooner. Seeing the Holy Hall Life realm teeming with talent, with the aura of the 9th generation immortals, I think they could even rival the Zhongsheng Academy. The mere dozens of cultivators who had just appeared all possessed cultivation levels of at least the 2nd immortal realm, with over half having reached the 3rd immortal realm. Yet across both Lingxiao Palace and the rainforest habitat, fewer than 10 individuals could even hope to contend for a spot on the immortal realm ranking. What you see now is just the tip of the iceberg. The Holy Hall Life realm, spanning 80 prefectures, has cultivated 600 years worth of talent in just 60 years with the help of time power of the Nether domain. Naturally, we don't possess the strength of 800 prefectures. However, we can still hold our own against major living realms. Otherwise, why would the clan chief dare to wager the life spring in this competition? Nangong spoke so frankly to persuade Li Wei to stay, assuring him that the Holy Hall Life realm was strong enough and that he shouldn't fight alone. She added, the results will be announced in just a few days. Now that you're here, why not stay? Let's discuss our battle techniques together. Battle techniques are indeed crucial. Li Wei suddenly asked, by the way, does the Void Ruins ancient clan have any hidden true disciple level experts? Nangong replied uncertainly, probably. So far, neither the Deputy Sentinel Lord nor the 7th Elder has explicitly stated that they will entrust the Life Spring Jade Scroll to me. In formulating our battle techniques, my role is to fight, not to flee or hide. Li Wei agreed with her assessment. If the Void Ruins ancient clan truly intended to entrust her with the Life Spring Jade Scroll, they would undoubtedly prioritize concealing and protecting her. The transcendent experts of Lingxiao Palace and the Void Ruins ancient clan, both seated in the Xiaoyao capital, made them potential targets for the Demon Kingdom. Behind the Immortal Ascension competition, a subtle power struggle was unfolding among the transcendent beings. Lu Tianqian was the ideal candidate, given his dual identity as Deputy Sentinel Lord of the Cave Void Dongshu camp. At this moment, 2 intelligence reports lay on Lu Tianqian's desk. One detailed the assassination attempt on Li Wei and Mo Duanfeng. The other had been transmitted from the Holy Hall Life realm. Lu Tianqian, clad in profound armor, possessed a square face and appeared to be around 50 years old. His expression was grim and icy, his eyes radiating a chilling intensity as he addressed Li Wei and Nangong, who stood 3 paces away. The Grand Palace Master has been gravely wounded. Li Wei's expression shifted abruptly. How could this happen? Lu Tianqian explained. After the Grand Palace Master reached an agreement with the Demon Monarch, news spread to the Nether Realm of the Dead. The dead spirits naturally struck first. The Hunwu Corpse Emperor of the Silver Marsh Corpse Sea personally led the attack. In a single night, the darkness enveloped 10 prefectures of the Holy Hall Life realm, transforming over 100 million civilians into corpse fiends. Wherever they passed, they left behind a living hell. The second strongest warrior of the Holy Hall Life realm, Holy Lord Nangong Baitang, fell in battle. 5 other transcendent beings also perished. The Hunwu Corpse Emperor slaughtered his way from the border all the way to the foot of the Void Ruins ancient clan's ancestral mountain. He was finally stopped by the Grand Palace Master, who used the ancient clan's formation and 2 supreme spiritual artifacts. The Sentinel Commander and Holy Emperor arrived shortly after, forcing the Hunwu Corpse Emperor to retreat. This devastating news drained the color from Nangong's face, leaving her deathly pale. Even listening to Lu Tianqian's account, one could feel the ferocity of the battle and the utter devastation of the living realm's lands. At this very moment, countless people were displaced, countless families mourned their lost loved ones, and countless souls struggled for survival in the face of imminent danger. Li Wei asked, why would the Hunwu Corpse Emperor come to the territory of Cave Void Ghost City? Perhaps for the Life Spring, or perhaps for the legendary 9th grade Emperor Herb, Lu Tianqian replied. A rumor has been circulating for the past 2 years that the Void Ruins Empress planted a 7th grade Emperor Herb in her ancestral field before her death. Considering the time that has passed, 20,000 years, if the Life Spring still exists, the 7th grade Emperor Herb would undoubtedly remain, and it might even have matured into a 9th grade Emperor Herb, capable of helping the martial mystic Dao Heavenly Emperor achieve a breakthrough, Lu Tianqian explained. Li Wei countered, how could outsiders possibly know such a thing? I suspect someone deliberately spread this rumor to sow discord between the Grand Palace Master and the Void Ruins ancient clan. After all, with the Grand Palace Master's cultivation level, consuming a 9th grade Emperor Herb would allow her to break through to the martial mystic Dao Heavenly Emperor realm in an instant. And the Void Ruins ancient clan, possessing such a treasure, would never give it to an outsider. Lu Tianqian shook his head slightly. The clash at that level was something even he could only speculate about, like trying to see flowers through the mist, impossible to discern any clear details. Nangong's eyes brimmed with tears. To Lu Tianqian and Li Wei, the fall of the 10 prefectures and the death of the Transcendent were merely cold news. But to her, it meant the loss of her homeland and her people. She choked out, "Have reinforcements from the living realms arrived yet?" Lu Tianqian replied coldly, "The Demon Kingdom still has the Great Wall formation sealed, preventing any reinforcements from passing through. The Sentinel Commander and the Holy Emperor were only able to arrive in time because the Sentinel Commander received advance warning and bypassed the wall through the Netherworld. He then sent word to the Holy Emperor. Even the Holy Emperor himself was delayed briefly by the Great Wall formation." Li Wei clenched his fists in fury. "Eubaxian should have died sooner. There's nothing we can do about it. The life-preserving spring and life spring must be entered into the Immortal Ascension competition. Only after the results are announced will the Demon Kingdom allow reinforcements to pass," Lu Tianqian explained. He added, "Now you understand how dangerous the power plays behind this Immortal Ascension competition truly are, don't you? It's not just your fight, the higher realms are embroiled in a bloody struggle as well. Every action has far-reaching consequences. Enough. Stop dwelling on this matter, overthinking it won't help. Focus on preparing for the Immortal Ascension competition. If the life-preserving Spring Jade Scroll and Life Spring Jade Scroll are seized, the Grand Palace Master and Clan Chief will be in an even more precarious position. Once the competition begins and reinforcements breach the Great Wall formation, everything will naturally improve. However, given the current dangerous circumstances, leading the Immortal Ascension competition battlefield to the Holy Hall Life Realm is no longer a wise choice. You must develop secondary and tertiary strategies." Lu Tianqian glanced at Nangong, who was struggling to compose herself. "Li Wei, come with me." The two entered the inner chamber. Before Lu Tianqian could speak, Li Wei had already produced a set of blood-floating pagoda demon armor and handed it over. Lu Tianqian took the armor and examined it closely, his thick brows furrowing. This is indeed Xuanhuan's weapon refinement technique. The materials used are immortal or black gold, suitable for crafting myriad inscriptions artifacts. The blood of this crimson Buddha infant likely originates from the blood of Buddhas in ancient Yi city. This complicates matters greatly. Legend has it that there are 72 sets of this armor. You will face a challenge. Unlike any you've encountered before. Lu Tianqian wanted to warn them that they might be facing a one-sided hunt, but he knew such words would only terrify these young warriors. How can we break this deadlock? Lu Tianqian racked his brain for a solution. Li Wei said, "Deputy Sentinel Lord, you're such a resolute figure. Why does your face look so grim? Do you also believe we're marching to our deaths by participating in the Immortal Ascension competition?" Lu Tianqian's gaze sharpened. The Immortal Ascension competition is about competition, not internal slaughter within the human clan. Surrender is always an option. Is it really that simple? Li Wei pressed. Keep that in mind, but don't undermine the others' morale. Lu Tianqian continued, "Forget about going to the All Wonders Temple. I've received word that Wenrenting Hai is already waiting for you there." After Kai Yuan's defeat by Shui Ding in Night Demon City, he invited a host of experts from the Great Wilderness Demon Plains, including the Heavenly Demon Empress's disciple, the Tai Sui Di Junt Grand Primordial Earth Monarch. He's come specifically to kill you. Rumor has it he's undefeated among the demon clan's new generation in the Great Wilderness Demon Plains, possessing pure ancient immortal giant beast bloodlines and strength that may rival even Ji Junxiang's. Specifically to kill me. Li Wei asked, bewildered, could this be another enemy of the Grand Palace Master? It's because of your deep ties to the Zhuli tribe. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 7. The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 23, 698 Gathering at the City Gate. 23rd of Volume 7. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Lu Tianqian began his explanation. The Heavenly Demon Empress is a mythical creature, a Xuanyu demon who has attained enlightenment through cultivation. She ranks first among the 28 Heavenly Emperors of southern Yingzhou. Bai Yeqing is her son, and the White Luan among the 5 phoenixes is her husband. This demon queen is notoriously ruthless and possessive. Decades ago, she nearly annihilated the Zhuli clan. Now you understand why your Zhuli origins have made you a target for assassination. Since the Deputy Sentinel Lord puts it that way, I have no choice but to go. Li Wei declared, there's one more thing, Chu Yudian might still be alive. Deputy Sentinel Lord, inform all Shaoyang Division members immediately. Li Wei descended from the small building where Lu Tianqian resided and spotted Nangong's graceful silhouette outside the courtyard gate. He approached quietly. The battle in the Holy Hall's life realm involves a clash between martial mystic Dao heavenly emperors. Even for transcendence, influencing the outcome would be as difficult as scaling the heavens. All we can do is help the Grand Palace Master and the clan chief secure the life-preserving spring in the Life Spring, and ensure Eubaxian's death. Do you think he'll succumb to grief and despair? Nangong turned, her bright eyes meeting his. You're heading to the All Wonders Temple, right? I'm going too. Li Wei shook his head gently. It's too dangerous. If you're captured. Before we leave, I'll set Death Spirit fire on myself. I won't be a burden. Li Wei, hear me out. I have 3 compelling reasons to convince you. Nangong continued, first, I need to break through to the Peak Realm. Second, have you seen the formation robes I'm wearing? Recently, I've been practicing the 13-feather radiant battle formation with 12 other top experts. This formation draws its power from the light spring, making it incredibly potent. I want to use this opportunity to test it against the Demon Kingdom Stupa battle formation. Third, I must use this battle to make the Demon Kingdom believe I possess the Life Spring Jade Scroll, thus concealing its true wielder. Clap. Clap. Seeing her unwavering resolve, Li Wei abandoned comforting words and instead offered encouragement through gentle applause. You know, I've been waiting for you to fight alongside me all along. Really? Nangong asked. Li Wei nodded. Absolutely. Take Meng Kui, for example. I fear him not in the slightest. But if Qingshang were to assist him, my defeat would be certain. You, Nangong, are my Qingshang. Come, let's borrow your light spring. Before Nangong entered seclusion for cultivation, Li Wei visited the 7th elder of the Void Ruins Ancient Clan to inquire about the Chun silkworms. The Void Ruins Ancient Clan cultivated Chun silkworms in batches, delivering them swiftly to the 9th generation immortal ascendants. Upon learning that several mature silkworms remained in frozen stasis, Li Wei borrowed 4 and dispatched them to the Chong clan. Naturally, they were intended for Zuoqiu Hongting and Yao Qingshan. Perhaps it was due to Li Wei's years of studying the Book of Radiant Stars, or perhaps because his left foot had already connected with the dark spiritual power of the heaven and earth, the cultivation of the spring in his right foot proceeded with remarkable ease. In just a single day, he successfully cultivated the bright realm, light realm. Over the next 2 days and nights, Li Wei completely immersed himself in cultivating his light spiritual power, dark spiritual power, light realm, and dark realm. He refused all visitors. Soon, the appointed time arrived for his meeting with Mo Duanfeng and Shui Ding. Early morning. Just as the hour of Mao 5 to 7 a.m. approached, the sky remained dark. Li Wei and Nangong rode out of Jade Willow Manor in a carriage, followed by the 12 other members of the 13-feather radiant battle formation, each mounted on a majestic strange beast. The grand procession headed toward the West City Gate. Spies from various major powers stationed outside the manor sent message talismans flying like snowflakes. In recent days, Wenren Tinghai had been secretly fueling rumors that Li Wei, Mo Duanfeng, and Shui Ding were planning to cause trouble at the All Wonders Temple. The news had stirred up a storm across the city. Wenren Tinghai's motives were clear, to force the 3 of them into action, preventing them from backing down out of fear. More importantly, he intended to use this battle to prove to the Demon Kingdom's leaders and all martial mystic cultivators that he, Wenren Tinghai, could handle Li Wei and his companions without needing Ji Junxiang's intervention. Mengqing Garden. After reading the message talisman, Meng Kui stood beneath the eaves, where icicles hung like frozen tears, gazing at the fine snow drifting down. He exhaled a white plume of breath. They're actually going through with it. Did they know the Demon Kingdom would never kill them, making them fearless? Or do they truly have absolute confidence in themselves? Do you want to go too? Qingshang asked, approaching gracefully. Meng Kui smiled. The ranking competition is called a grand gathering, precisely because it's separate from the Immortal Ascension competition. It's a lively gathering where the younger generation's heroes clash. Such a spectacle only occurs once every 60 years, and only before the official rankings are announced. After New Year's Eve, everyone will gradually depart, like the end of a feast, the crowd dispersing, leaving only the ruthless struggle for personal gain. In this 60-year cycle, Li Wei and Mo Duanfeng have stirred up storm after storm, their spirits soaring, their youth and ambition overshadowing everyone else. I regret not being able to witness it firsthand. Meng Kui understood perfectly that if he went to the All Wonders Temple, with Yi Tianchen and Chu Fengshu present, he would inevitably become a weapon for the Demon Kingdom to use against Li Wei and his companions. He refused to be manipulated. Victory is the only way to outshine everyone else, Qingshang said. Defeat could mean eternal damnation. Chong Clan, Grand Minister's Mansion. Chongshu respectfully presented the message talisman to Chong Yukan, who was meditating. No need to read it. I already know, Chong Yukan said, opening her eyes. The bustling scenes of Xiaoyao capital's districts flashed briefly in her pupils before vanishing. It seems this boy is truly obsessed with claiming the top spot on the immortal ranking. Why? In her view, all of Li Weiyi's actions were aimed at reaching the pinnacle of cultivation, thereby earning the right to challenge Ji Junxiang. Regardless, he must not die or have his cultivation crippled before the ranking competition. I'll go myself, Chang Yukan declared. Chang Shu exclaimed in surprise, "Aunt, is that really necessary?" Even in the worst case, Chang Ji could still take him away. Are you aware of the situation in the Holy Hall's life realm? Even that old monster Hunwu has arrived. Yu Yaozi's seemingly insignificant pawn has now become crucial. Do you think the Nether Realm of the Dead and the Taiyan sector are unaware of his importance? Whoosh. Chang Yukan slightly raised her right arm, forming a finger seal with her jade-like fingers. With a flicker, she vanished. A moment later, she stood outside West City's gates, amidst the swirling snow. Inside the warm jade-lined carriage, Nangong recounted the visitors from the past 2 days, one by one. Someone from the Crown Prince's prefecture came. Li Weiyi asked, surprised. Nangong nodded. The visitor identified himself as Cao Bin. Cao Caitian. Li Weiyi exclaimed, incredulous. That was one of the 8 transcendents who had once served under the Lingxiao Palace. Nangong shot him a puzzled look before continuing. The deputy sentinel lord received him. From what I gathered, the Crown Prince's consort, who is also the former second palace master of the Lingxiao Palace, wishes to meet you. Li Weiyi felt the weight of his drastically changed status and influence. Yet he was now deeply entangled in the turbulent currents of the world, having become Yu Yaozi's most crucial pawn, known throughout the land. Nangong, the members of your 13-feather radiant battle formation must all be at the peak of the third immortal realm, right? Li Weiyi asked. Nangong nodded. 3 holy spiritual masters and 10 immortal realm martial mystic cultivators. Including myself, there's 1 4th realm holy spiritual master and 4 4th realm immortal realm martial mystic cultivators. This is the strongest force the Void Ruins ancient clan can publicly reveal. You have a fatal weakness, Li Weiyi observed. Speed. Nangong guessed. Li Weiyi nodded. Nangong lifted her sleeve, revealing a dazzling array of multicolored light. This is the heaven-grade realm pouch the clan chief gave me. In times of crisis, I can temporarily store all 12 of them inside to ensure their absolute safety. Li Weiyi stared at he intently. A heaven-grade realm pouch is even more precious than a myriad inscriptions artifact, with boundless uses. For the clan chief to entrust such a treasure to you. It seems he truly intends to thrust you into the spotlight, making you the target of everyone's ire. The carriage rolled out of West City's gates. Mo Duanfeng and Guo Ju, the Holy Dynasty's 3rd scholar, were already waiting beside the snow-covered carriage. As Li Weiyi and Nangong dismounted, Mo Duanfeng teased from afar, last 60-year cycle, we had Bu Lianxi. This cycle, it's brother Weiyi's turn. Every time a woman steps out of your carriage, she's more stunning than the last, like an immortal descending to the mortal realm. Don't you recognize Nangong? You're ruining her reputation, Li Weiyi retorted as they approached, leaving 2 sets of footprints in the snow. Of course I recognize her, Mo Duanfeng replied, but this isn't a game we're playing. Brother Mo underestimates me. Nangong retorted, if necessary, I'd be happy to test your 7 severing wind slashes myself. Seeing Li Weiyi and Nangong's seriousness, Mo Duanfeng fell silent. After introducing themselves, Mo Duanfeng pulled Li Weiyi aside and pointed to the Taoist-robed figure standing atop the city wall. He transmitted his voice, I've investigated. There is indeed an 8th-generation immortal cultivator named Chang Yukan. Thank you. Li Weiyi replied, knowing Mo Duanfeng had checked out of concern for his safety, fearing the Chang clan might be plotting against him. Also, I borrowed a psychic power attack artifact. You'll wield it. With your peak 4th realm psychic power cultivation, let's see if you can break the floating pagoda formation tower. Mo Duanfeng produced a bell and pressed it into Li Weiyi's hand. Li Weiyi stared at the bell, momentarily stunned. The evil camel bell. The bell Mo Duanfeng had handed him looked exactly like the evil camel bell. You know about the evil camel bell. This is just a replica, but it's of high quality and retains some of the original's miraculous properties. Don't lose it, I have to return it, Mo Duanfeng said. Lu Jingchen's carriage slowly approached, driven by an elderly man in black martial garments. After parting from Mo Duanfeng, Li Weiyi stepped forward to greet Lu Jingchen. Seated inside the carriage, Lu Jingchen gave him an apologetic look before producing 2 7,000-year-old essence herbs and a stack of talismans crafted from the golden bones of an ancient heavenly emperor. These were the items Li Weiyi had entrusted Lu Jingchen and Lu Jingchen to purchase 2 days ago. Lu Jingchen then produced a walnut-sized jade box and handed it to Li Weiyi. What's this? Li Weiyi asked, opening the box. A misty radiance emanated from within, revealing a multicolored, moist mud with a faint, refreshing fragrance. Divine Talisman Mud, Lu Jingchen explained, it greatly increases the success rate of talisman crafting. It's extremely rare and expensive, I could only obtain this small amount. Consider it an apology. I can't be certain if the assassination attempt on you and Mo Duanfeng originated from Thousand Mile Mountain, but I don't want this incident to become a thorn in our friendship. Lu Jingchen spoke plainly. Second brother Lu had nothing to do with that incident. But I truly need this. I'll remember this favor. Li Wei replied. Haha, are you all traveling by carriage? It seems I'm a bit late. Shui Ding unfurled his 6 wings and soared out of the city gate on the wind, landing with a thunderous crash atop Mo Duanfeng and Guoju's carriages. He then ascended westward toward the mountains. This king will take the lead and see if Wenren Tinghai dares to face me this time. Third-ranked scholar against third-ranked scholar, Wenren Tinghai is Guoju's opponent. Guoju activated his body technique, sprinting across the ground with astonishing speed, keeping pace with Shui Ding's flight. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 6. The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 24, 699, All Wonders Temple. 24th of Volume 7. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. The All Wonders Temple was located on Chao Mountain, west of the Xiaoyao capital. Beneath the western mountain range lay rich veins of rare and precious metals, forming the metal element, geomantic terrain that defined the western edge of the Xiaoyao capital. The mountains were far from desolate. Numerous outer city market towns clustered at their base, while the slopes were dotted with cave dwellings, estates, and imperial retreats built by high-ranking officials and nobles. At the peak stood array platforms guarding the capital. The convoy advanced, crushing through the void. Li Wei and Nangong's carriage led the way, followed by the Holy Dynasty's imperial carriage, with Lu Jingchen's carriage bringing up the rear. As news spread, increasing numbers of young martial mystic cultivators from various living realms flocked to join the spectacle, riding exotic beasts or traveling in jade carriages, all eager to witness the spectacle. Li Wei, Mo Duanfeng, and Shui Ding were renowned figures, yet most Immortal Realm martial mystic cultivators had never seen them in person and lacked a concrete understanding of the 9th generation Immortal's true power. In most living realms, reaching the 3rd Immortal Realm of cultivation within a century was considered extraordinary. Attaining the 4th Immortal Realm and achieving Great Immortal Realm was an almost unattainable feat. Dawn gradually broke. The snow fell heavier. Chao Mountain, towering over 3,000 meters, encompassed a vast territory spanning over 50 miles in radius. Amidst a blizzard, the icy wind howled, painting the mountain slopes pristine white. From halfway up to the summit, temples, Buddha pagodas, vermilion halls, and stone sculptures dotted the landscape. Flocks of exotic beasts and demon birds circled above the forested peaks of the surrounding mountains, their cries echoing through the air. These were the Mount demonic servants raised by the transcendent families of the Xiaoyao capital. Shui Ding and Guoju arrived at the foot of the mountain ahead of the others. As they watched, mist began to rise from the mountain, quickly obscuring their vision until Chao Mountain vanished completely. The stone cliff carved with the words, All Wonders Temple, Zongmiao Temple, and the stone steps leading to the temple gate were half hidden in the mist, with no gatekeeper in sight. Wenren Tinghai, what kind of skill is it to hide behind a formation? Guoju, the new 3rd-ranked scholar of the Holy Dynasty, has come to challenge you. Guoju infused his voice with spiritual qi, unleashing a sonic wave technique. The mountains trembled violently. Snow piled atop the peaks crumbled like crushed white clouds, cascading down in a furious torrent. From within Chao Mountain, Wenren Tinghai's laughter spiraled through the air. Activating the formation is to protect the temple's precious pagodas and ancient halls from reckless fools like you. You'd best retreat now and save yourselves the trouble. Entering the mountain is like walking into a trap. Guoju retorted, Guoju has come here sincerely to challenge you. If 3rd-ranked scholar Wenren Tinghai fears defeat, he only needs to refuse. In that case, the Earth Ranking's chief scribe will simply rank me above you. Why this intense hostility? Li Wei and Nangong's carriage arrived at the foot of Chao Mountain, stopping beside a gurgling stream that steamed with mist. The surrounding area was a vast, flat plaza, blanketed in a pristine white layer of ice and snow. From inside the carriage, Li Wei's voice rang out, Wenren Tanhua's strategy is a classic case of retreating to advance. He appears to be activating the formation to bar us from entering the mountain, but in reality, he's waiting for us to launch a frontal attack. This way, he'll claim the moral high ground. Even if we cripple the Holy Dynasty's top scholar and 3rd-ranked scholar, and the Wing Dynasty's prince, it will be our own fault, leaving us no recourse for justice. Guoju's expression darkened slightly as he urgently transmitted a question to Li Wei, what do we do now? Wenren Tinghai's move is truly cunning, far more insidious than simply letting us pass. Retreating now would be a colossal loss of face. Li Wei emerged from the carriage, clad in the blood-floating pagoda demon armor beneath his purple governor's official robe, his figure radiating heroic pride. He glared at the cliff face etched with the words, All Wonders Temple, and snorted coldly, his voice booming across the plaza. Wenren Hai, you've been having a rough time since losing those 3 blood-floating pagoda demon armors, haven't you? If you want them back, come down here and face me. Midway up the mountain, outside the vermilion-painted thousand-headed Buddha treasure hall, dozens of immortal realm experts from the demon kingdom had gathered, their ranks interspersed with demon cultivators and seductive nuns. Boom. Wenren Hai slammed his fist into a pillar, regretting his restraint in the immortal grove of Night Demon City. If only he had torn off the mask back then. 3 sets of blood-floating pagoda demon armor had been lost, along with 3 of their greatest masters. If the demon kingdom hadn't been in dire need of manpower, he might have faced severe punishment. 2 days ago, Wenren Moqing himself had issued a decree: the 3 sets of demonic armor must be retrieved. Wenren Hai took a deep breath, regaining his composure. He condensed a colossal figure from mist, looming over the mountainside as he gazed down. Li Wei, he boomed, this Tanhua 3rd-ranked scholar will open the formation. Do you truly dare to ascend the mountain? Below the mountain, Mo Duanfeng tossed Yi Tianchen and Chu Fengshu from the carriage, then leapt out himself. He glared upward and roared, Wenren Hai, you have the audacity to kill a holy commander member of the Shaoyang division. Do you not know Li Wei is a member of the Sentinel Spirit Army? He has slain true disciples and numerous Tai Yin envoys and fallen spirit marquises, earning great merit for the human clan, yet you nearly killed him, you villain. You dare call yourself a heavenly emperor's disciple. Wenren Hai, assuming Mo Duanfeng was referring to the events beneath the East Sea and within the Void Ruins ancient kingdom, said coolly, the Holy Dynasty's top scholar speaks recklessly without evidence, making himself a laughingstock. He continued, if anyone should demand justice, it is the demon kingdom that should hold Li Wei accountable. Why did he seize the millennial essence herbs from our frontier army's strongest warrior in the Void Ruins ancient kingdom? Why did he kill him without provocation? Your Sentinel Spirit Army guards the human clan, but don't the frontier army soldiers also protect the human clan? Mo Duanfeng replied, today isn't the time to settle old scores. Let's focus on the assassination attempt outside Night Demon City's immortal grove. Why did you order Yi Tianchen and Chu Fengshu to kill Li Wei? Upon hearing this, Wenren Hai froze for a moment, his expression shifting dramatically. He noticed the gazes of many demon kingdom cultivators around him, some filled with surprise, others with shock. Mo Duanfeng, cease your slander. I never issued such an order, Wenren Hai snapped, his composure shattered. After a moment of deliberation, he immediately led his group down the mountain. He sensed danger. If this matter wasn't handled carefully, he could be ruined. Yi Tianchen and Chu Fengshu had their cultivation sealed and their bodies immobilized by talismans, making even blinking an eye impossible. Completely shaven and clad only in 2 loose robes, they felt a deep sense of dread. They knew that even if Li Wei spared them, the Wenren family would hunt them down to the ends of the earth. Their fate was even worse than that of the traitor Shen Jian. A moment later, Wenren Hai appeared at the entrance of All Wonders Temple. Behind him, figures with powerful vital energy stood shrouded in the mist. Half of them were young nuns with pure immortal physiques, each possessing stunning beauty, their foreheads glowing with lingguang, and their bodies draped in white and yellow Buddhist robes. Shui Ding retrieved the psychic aura scroll he had prepared earlier and channeled spiritual qi into it. The images of Yi Tianchen and Chu Fengshu projected from the scroll onto the mist, their voices echoing through the air. Wenren Hai ordered us to do this, to kill Li Wei. He promised us an immense reward. He said you were all wearing masks to conceal your identities, so no one would know it was you. Wenren Hai claimed he had powerful backers and wanted to eliminate Li Wei before the Immortal Ascension competition. The crowd gathering to witness the spectacle consisted almost entirely of Immortal Realm martial mystic cultivators, each a dragon or phoenix among mortals. They stood stunned, fully grasping the implications of this revelation. If these accusations were proven true, Wenren Hai would face certain death. Even Wenren Moqing might be implicated. Wenren Hai's face paled as he glared at Yi Tianchen and Chu Fengshu, who were silenced by talismans. Only then did he turn to Shui Ding. This is a frame-up. If you dare, dispel the talismans and let us confront them directly. You just want to silence them permanently, don't you? Shui Ding immediately retrieved the spirit light scroll and concealed it within his ancestral field. Mo Duanfeng's fury erupted. Wenren Hai, how much longer will you deny it? Who's pulling your strings? Is it Wenren Moqing, Ku Moxiang, a great immortal elder from All Wonders Temple, or even the abbot herself? From within All Wonders Temple, a distant, ethereal female voice pierced through the mist. You juniors want to settle your scores. Take your fight elsewhere. This temple will not involve itself. The voice resonated with such profound cultivation that it made the eardrums and organs of everyone present ache, a clear display of power meant to intimidate Li Wei, Mo Duanfeng, and Shui Ding, warning them not to implicate All Wonders Temple. Chang Yukan stood hidden in the distant snowy forest, concealed by swirling mist. Her ethereal figure flickered in and out of view as she murmured, this strategy to break the stalemate isn't bad. Forcing Wenrentinghai out of All Wonders Temple counts as winning the first round. Now, we finally have a chance of victory. Such tactics might be intimidating and sufficient to deal with Wenrentinghai, but they wouldn't hold up in court. Don't fight in All Wonders Temple. If you want to break the stalemate, just retrieve Yi Tianqian and Chu Fangshu. Wenrentinghai received the abbot's telepathic message, his heart seething with frustration and resentment. He had initially held all the advantages, intending to use this opportunity to thoroughly teach Mo Duanfeng and Shui Ding a lesson. As for Li Wei, killing him was out of the question, but he needed to crush his fighting spirit and inner resolve, preferably leaving him utterly demoralized. Now, his advantage had vanished, his position shifting from aggressor to defender. Even the abbot of All Wonders Temple, eager to avoid implication, had issued him an expulsion order. Amitabha. Seeing Wenrentinghai completely outmatched by the three of them, Shan Sheng stepped forward. This humble monk will go and speak with them. I'll accompany you, master, Wenrentinghai said. As Shui Ding and Mo Duanfeng exchanged challenges, Li Wei secretly observed the crowd of onlookers behind him, noticing several cultivators whose strength he couldn't discern. One young man stood out in particular. He carried a wooden sword and wore a Tai Chi 8 trigrams Taoist robe. While other cultivators traveled in groups of 3 to 5, riding carriages or beasts, this man walked alone, a solitary figure. More importantly, his spiritual chi was completely concealed, giving him an air of profound simplicity, as if he had returned to his original, unrefined state. Nangong, have the cultivators from the Void Ruins ancient clan keep an eye on the crowd, Li Wei transmitted telepathically. The Demon Kingdom might have planted masters among them to catch us off guard. Pay special attention to that Taoist with the wooden sword. Whoosh. Whoosh. Shan Sheng and Wenrentinghai emerged from the formation's misty barrier, appearing opposite Mo Duanfeng and Shui Ding. Shan Sheng, his hair sparse and his robe simple, pressed his palms together and spoke first. If Lord Tanhua truly intended to assassinate Benefactor Li, his intellect would have devised a more subtle plan. If such a plot existed, Yi Tianqian and Chu Fangshu would have been silenced long ago, not allowed to live until now. Confessions extracted under torture cannot withstand scrutiny. Li Wei signaled Nangong to protect Yi Tianqian and Chu Fangshu, then stepped forward. Master, you misunderstand. Wenrentinghai has always been reckless and crude, not as cunning as you imagine. Li Wei, what the hell do you want? Get to the point. I'll play along to the end, Wenrentinghai snapped, his anger finally boiling over. Hand over the 6 assassins who tried to kill me that night, Li Wei demanded. There was no assassination attempt. I won't hand them over, Wenrentinghai retorted, his hand behind his back making a silent, go, gesture with 2 fingers. Whoosh. Above the All Wonders Temple's gate, a crimson fireball burst through the mist, hurtling straight toward Yi Tianqian and Chu Fangshu. Within the fiery glow, Kai Yuan spread his wings. Master, help me restrain them. We must rescue Yi Tianqian and Chu Fangshu first. Boom. Wenrentinghai stomped his foot, unleashing a wave of spiritual chi that surged dozens of meters outward, solidifying into the black and white realm. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 7. The Struggle for Immortal Realm. Chapter 25 700 Early Competition. 25th of Volume 7. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Wenrentinghai's body split into stark black and white halves, mirroring the surrounding world. With a simultaneous strike, he unleashed both palms at Li Wei, who stood mere inches away. One palm struck with the skull seal, the other with the immortal scripture. From Li Wei's ancestral field erupted a radiant immortal haze radiance. As he retreated, his palms met the attack, transforming into 2 sheets of clear radiance cloud glow that swelled the air and unleashed a torrent of surging power. Boom. The 4 palms collided. Spiritual chi, seismic force, and the immortal scripture exploded outward in all directions. Wenrentinghai's heart jolted. His palms felt as if they had struck an impenetrable wall of bronze and iron. His carefully prepared surprise attack had been effortlessly countered. Meanwhile, Nangong swiftly stowed Yi Tianqian and Chu Fangshu into head heaven grade realm pouch. Spinning around, she clashed with Qiyuan. Her figure retreated rapidly, vanishing into the ranks of the 12 Void Ruins ancient clan powerhouses. Kai Yun pursued, spewing crimson phoenix fire that coalesced into a colossal wave of flames. In response, 12 streams of spiritual chi and psychic power converged, tearing through the fire wave and forcing him to retreat hastily. Bang! Bang! Li Wei and Wenrentinghai exchanged 3 close quarters palm strikes. The surrounding spiritual chi churned violently, while rings of immortal scripture swirled around them. With his 4th strike, a Buddhist Tao imprint spun forth, tearing apart Wenrentinghai's arms and shattering his black-white realm into fragments. Wenrentinghai was sent flying backward, crashing into the All Wonders Temple's formation cloud mist. He nearly lost his footing upon landing. His arms throbbed with pain and numbness, his fingers trembling uncontrollably, unable to grip anything. Whoosh! Li Wei struck like lightning. Wenren Tinghai immediately activated his escape Dao technique, abandoning all pretense of dignity as he transformed into a series of black and white afterimages, fleeing toward the crowd of onlookers to the right. Earth Monarch, please take action. Deal with this Zhuli clan barbarian. He shouted. Li Wei immediately tensed, his senses expanding outward. After learning about the Tai Sui Earth Monarch from Deputy Sentinel Lord Lu Tianchen, Li Wei's purpose in coming to the All Wonders Temple had subtly shifted. His breakthrough in cultivation and the blood-floating pagoda demon armor would have to wait. Crack. Cack. The ground around Nangong and the 12 Void Ruins ancient clan experts split open, erupting with intensely potent brown demonic qi. Instantly, the small realm beneath the All Wonders Temple grew bitterly cold. The nearby mountain stream froze solid in an instant. 4 fissures opened in the ground, each releasing a stone statue. All the statues were female, their faces serene and compassionate, radiating an overwhelming yin qi. The 4 stone statues exhaled gusts of yin wind, each carrying corrosive formation light and formation glyphs, converging from all directions upon the 13 members of the Void Ruins ancient clan who had formed a battle formation. These 4 stone demons, known as the Stone Tomb Ladies, had been unearthed from the immortal tomb of an ancient immortal giant beast. Originally tomb guardian statues, they had absorbed corpse energy and immortal qi, giving rise to sentience. The wind force exhaled by the Stone Tomb Ladies was cultivated from the yin qi within the immortal tomb. Bone-chillingly cold, it specialized in shattering formation light and formation glyphs. Such potent demonic qi, Li Wei immediately sensed the Tai Sui Earth Monarch's formidable power. While the Stone Tomb Ladies were undeniably eerie and dangerous, their decision to attack Nangong and the others instead of rescuing Wenren Tinghai demonstrated strategic brilliance, preventing the enemy from dictating their actions. Don't worry about us. I can handle this, Nangong declared, raising the jade bamboo staff above her head. Behind her, the light spring ascended like a blazing sun, its blinding radiance melting ice and snow. From the spring, a ceaseless torrent of transcendent light spiritual qi surged forth, permeating the battle formation. With a whoosh, the Tai Sui Earth Monarch's humanoid form burst through the All Wonders Temple's formation cloud mist. His 5 fingers clenched into a claw as he instantly appeared behind Li Wei, who was pursuing Wenren Tinghai, and struck at his head. The attack was so swift that even Mo Duanfeng, with his formidable cultivation, couldn't intercept it. He roared, "Watch out!" Li Wei had been on high alert. His body transformed into a bolt of thunder and lightning, erupting with a deafening boom as he shot forward over 300 meters, appearing midair above the opposite mountain forest. Whirling around, he formed a finger seal and clashed head-on with the Tai Sui Earth Monarch, who had launched another attack. Boom! A wave of energy erupted, sending both combatants hurtling backward. Regaining his footing, the Tai Sui Earth Monarch ceased his attacks. He realized his plan to kill Li Wei with a surprise strike had failed, his opponent was too strong for a quick victory. He began to scrutinize his adversary. Li Wei hovered in the air, crackling with lightning, his gaze fixed on the Demon Queen's disciple. The Tai Sui Earth Monarch stood 9 feet tall, lean and wiry, with prominent cheekbones, a nose as sharp as a blade, 1 golden eye and 1 crimson eye, and a head of white hair. No, not hair. They were strands of white flesh, writhing independently in the wind, each one seemingly possessed of its own life. Who is this man? The immortal qi within his demonic qi. It's the kind that leaks from the corpses of ancient immortal giant beasts. How can he wield such power? This demon's blood qi is overwhelming, like a blood sea contained within his body. The intensity of his qi fluctuations is unprecedented among the 9th generation immortal ascendants. Hearing Tanhua's earlier proclamation, referring to him as the Earth Monarch, it can only be Tai Sui Earth Monarch, disciple of the Heavenly Demon Empress. Rumor has it that the ancient immortal giant beast bloodline within him has fully awakened. In terms of combat prowess within his realm, he rivals even the young of those ancient beasts. On the great wilderness demon plains, few can match him. Fully awakened. Does that mean he's an immortal hatchling? If he survives, he's guaranteed to become an immortal. Impossible. In the entire Yingzhou continent, no immortal hatchling has been born in the past 100,000 years. I think, he is at most, a demon emperor's holy embryo with 90% of its ancient immortal giant beast bloodline awakened is the absolute limit. Even a demon emperor's sacred embryo is terrifying enough. They can effortlessly crush their peers. If they survive, they're destined to reach the martial mystic Dao Heavenly Emperor realm. Which of those Heavenly Emperors dares claim they'll definitely cultivate to become the martial mystic Dao Heavenly Emperors? The Tai Sui Earth Monarch's appearance caused a sensation. Rumors about him spread like wildfire. The immortal qi within his body alone was terrifying, capable of boosting his power to levels that martial mystic cultivators of the same realm couldn't withstand. With each breath he took, the air around the surrounding mountains pulsed rhythmically. Shui Ding had borrowed a heart-protecting mirror specifically to counter Shan Shenzhe's Bodhi Heart Seal. After exchanging dozens of blows, their battle was temporarily halted by the Tai Sui Earth Monarch's arrival. Whoosh! The Tai Sui Earth Monarch descended gracefully, landing with 1 foot atop the head of one of the stone tomb ladies. Qiyuan and Wenren Tinghai converged toward him. Mo Duanfeng, wielding the heavenly mandate blade, glanced at Wenren Tinghai and sneered, "The Immortal Ascension competition is a contest among the human race's life realm martial mystic cultivators. Even if demons join, they can only serve as mounts or servants. Yet, I get the feeling he's the master, and you're the servant." Wenren Tinghai retorted, "Spare me your attempts to sow discord. If you're afraid, hand over Yi Tianchen, Chu Fangshu, and the 3 sets of blood-floating pagoda demon armor. Otherwise, you won't leave this place unscathed." Swish. Swish. The sound of wind being sliced apart echoed as a dozen figures clad in blood-floating pagoda demon armor and silver masks burst through the All-Wonders Temple formation cloud mist. Blood chi and demonic chi surged across the land for dozens of miles. Clang. Li Wei drew the yellow dragon sword, its sword intent soaring to the heavens, tearing through the sea of blood chi. A dragon's roar shook the earth for 100 miles. Since Scholar Wenren intends to kill us, Li Wei will no longer show courtesy to the demon kingdom today. Lest you think I dare not shed blood in Xiaoyao capital. Wenren Tinghai seethed with frustration. He had never explicitly threatened Li Wei's life, yet the man acted as if he had. Why hasn't the Immortal Ascension competition begun yet? He cursed inwardly. In the time leading up to the competition, Li Wei held all the advantages. Amitabha. Bodhi golden light erupted from Shan Shenzhe's body as he stepped forward, his voice ringing out, "Might I suggest a compromise? Let each side send 5 combatants to compete in a early competition match. The stakes will be 3 blood-floating pagoda demon armor suits and 2 hostages from your side, matched by 5 suits from our side." Wenren Tinghai frowned deeply. Losing 3 blood-floating pagoda demon armor had already earned him a severe scolding. If he lost more, what face would he have left to call himself the Tanhua? Mo Duanfeng, Shui Ding, and Guoju all turned their gazes toward Li Wei. After all, the 3 blood-floating pagoda demon armor and the 2 hostages belonged to him, the others had no say in the matter. Mo Duanfeng transmitted a message, "The only real threats on their side are Shan Shenzhen and Tai Sui Earth Monarch. Even if we lose those 2 matches, we can just return those 2 useless wastes, Yi Tianchen and Chu Fangshu. If we're going to fight, I'll lead the charge." Shui Ding transmitted to Li Wei, "If we win, I'll pay you 1,000 spiritual crystals for the blood-floating pagoda demon armor. If we lose, this king will still compensate you with 1,000 spiritual crystals. What do you say?" Li Wei's gaze swept over Shan Shenzhen, Wenren Tinghai, and Tai Sui Earth Monarch. "There's no need for such complications. I propose a single decisive match. Each side sends 1 champion to settle this once and for all, to determine both victory and death. What do you say, Tanhua Wenren?" The surrounding cultivators erupted in uproar, convinced Li Wei had gone mad. If both sides send 5 combatants and arrange them strategically, they might win 3 matches. Just 3 victories would secure their triumph today, earning them boundless glory. A single battle to decide everything. Who on their side can possibly match Shan Shenzhen and Tai Sui Earth Monarch? Li Wei isn't being reckless, he's trying to break through to the peak realm under immense pressure. But this is far too aggressive, practically a reckless gamble. An elder, seeing through Li Wei's intentions, sighed. Even Chong Yukan looked surprised, unable to fathom Li Wei's confidence. Shan Shenzhen telepathically warned Wenren Tinghai, "He's betting no one will dare kill him before the Immortal Ascension competition. He's trying to intimidate us with this life or death challenge. He's willing to kill us, but we hesitate to kill him, tying our own hands and giving him a psychological advantage." At the summit of the All-Wonders Temple, the demon monk Ku Chao and a tonsured nun emerged from the vegetarian hall and stood at the cliff's edge, gazing down at the scene below. Ku Chao's voice, secretly transmitted to Wenren Tinghai, urged, "Accept his challenge. Let the heavenly demon empress's disciple step forward." Wenren Tinghai's eyes flashed with cruel delight, his spirit surging as he laughed, trying to scare us off. "He'll only humiliate himself. Li Wei, it's settled. But we'll follow the rules of the Immortal Ascension competition, no using talismans or formations crafted by others, only your own power." "Agreed," Li Wei said solemnly, his gaze unwavering. "Let's give the stake of our wagers with the Earth Rankings chief scribe now to prevent any backing out later." "This Tanhua also has the same intention," Wenren Tinghai replied. Li Wei turned to Tai Sui Earth Monarch. "Will Shan Shenzhen step forward first, or will the Demon Queen's disciple?" The moment Li Wei declared, "A battle to the death," he knew Tai Sui Earth Monarch would be the one to fight. Shan Shenzhen wouldn't risk his life in such a duel. This battle required killing Tai Sui Earth Monarch. Otherwise, Yao Qingshan would face mortal danger once the Immortal Ascension competition began. The current situation was exactly as Li Wei had planned before arriving. Finally baring your fangs. An unexpected bonus, Chong Yukon murmured, glancing at the All Wonders Temple peak. She secretly plotted to use Tai Sui Earth Monarch to eliminate Li Wei. Was it be the demon monk Ku Chao or Wenren Midao? Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.